This will be my audience for today's speech: Madison Wild, Tim Trainer, and my filmer, Maddie Utrinka. Imagine being an athlete for a large market university that makes millions off of you and your fellow teammates' jerseys and play. Now imagine being one of those athletes who goes to bed hungry at night because he cannot afford food. This is just the case for recent national basketball champion Shabazz Napier of Connecticut. According to CNN, Shabazz Napier told reporters that he often goes to bed starving because he cannot afford food. College athletes should be paid because of the staggering amount of money that colleges make off their athletic programs. Today, I'm going to talk about the revenues colleges make off their athletes, the average costs of different colleges, and possible ways to disperse money fairly without harming academic scholarships. Colleges make a ton of money from the revenue that sports create. According to USA Today, the University of Texas had the highest sports-generated revenue in 2012 with a staggering number of $163,295,115. There were 13 colleges in 2012 that had a higher sports-generated revenue of higher than $100 million. In this graph, you can see the 13 colleges that had sports-generated revenue of over $100 million. And you can see that the University of Texas is abnormally high compared to the rest. And you can see that all 13 of these colleges are primarily football-dominated schools. With all that money, there has to be some left for the athletes. Shabazz Napier's college, Connecticut, has a total sports-generated revenue of just over $65 million. With all that, do you really think an athlete should go to bed hungry at night? Not only are sport-generated revenues eye-opening, the amount of money it costs to go to college is eye-opening too. College tuition is too high to not give some back to the students. According to the NCAA, 15% of Division I college athletes are first-generation college students. This means that they are the first ones in their family to actually attend college. And studies have shown that first-generation college students actually tend to come from lower-income households, which means it's harder to pay for college this way. In a DoSomething.org article, the head of the National College Players Association and former UCLA linebacker Ramogi Huma said, "It's really deceptive to use the words full scholarship. There's never an explanation for recruit athletes that the price tag for scholarships falls short of the actual attending school amount." According to the University of Connecticut website, the average out-of-state student cost is $53,532. This shows the 2012 to 2013 averages for different types of colleges, and you can see a public 4-year out-of-state average tuition is $21,706, which is what Shabazz Napier falls under. That's a 4.2% increase from the year before, which just shows that as tuition is going up, college is going to be harder and harder to afford. No wonder, with college costs that high, that athletes go to bed starving. Even with all this evidence, people still are opposed to giving athletes money because they think it will lessen the amount of academic scholarships given. There are ways to disperse the money to athletes without harming academic scholarships. The common misconception is that athletics take away from non-athletic scholarships. This is actually not the case. Normally, athletic departments aren't allowed to even take out money from athletic scholarships. academic scholarships, excuse me. According to scholarships.com, there are millions of scholarships for non-athletes, including some for just being left-handed. People might ask, how can you spread the money around fairly? Or how much do you give a football player compared to a swimmer? Well, that's actually a very easy question to answer. You would just have to take the amount of money that the sport generates. So, for example, if football generates $50 million and swimming generates $5 million, then you will take out a certain percentage from each revenue and give it accordingly to the student athletes. It might work out that swimmers get less money than the football players, but that is because that there is more money available to the football program because the football program makes more money. With all this evidence, it is hard not to consider paying college athletes. College athletes should be paid because of the crazy amount of money colleges make off their performance. Today, I talked about the revenue colleges make off of their athletes, the average costs of different colleges, and the possible ways to disperse the money fairly without harming academic scholarships. Being a prime-time college athlete might be great, but let me ask you this. Should a prime-time college athlete that devotes most of his time to academics and sports go to bed starving? And this is my